picture of this woman in the book, a mysterious woman called Madeline Eve, who he dedicated his third, sonatina to the American inventor Madeline Eve. So she inspired me to read about Busoni, and
so there she was with the green and brown.
yeah, which is
One thing you didn't know was that she was the great
green and dying sort of Dylan Thomas.
yes.
But I was trying to paint the lichen, in this skull shape. So I kind of ran out of time.
Did they have to take millions off the roof?
Over the years, there's piles of
I know, I've
broken
been here for
ones.
40 years, I just live across the road, so...
Again, and it's that characteristic, I mean, it's just so good at getting the differing shades of green to give that sort of appearance of 3D.
Well, they amalgamated. They had the name Lion Bear, didn't they?
Yeah, but then they made it called if you get it right.
Hurry when we drive past.
Better than you'll get on a
Of course, there's a spring on the side here.
It looks like the university are going to buy all that.
We've been really privileged to have Craig working in between Alberton and Highwic as our conservation housekeeper for about how many years?
7 years.
I was going to say 10, but
It seems like 10.
And during that time we've come to appreciate Craig's individuality, and we've got to know some of his specialities, such as his love of the female voice, particularly as encapsulated in vintage vinyl, and the same care and attention that he takes to look after our objects in Highwic, he obviously applies to his artwork. And we've been really excited about Craig's idea of doing these artworks on slate, which is millions of years old, which has been on the Highwic roof for 150 years. So it was Craig's idea, he came up with it, and we've run with it to celebrate Highwic's 150th year. So just leave it at that, shall I?
Thank you. I'm going to say my love of the female body. And the corners kept their secrets where there were claw marks in the dust. 2 years ago, when I started on these paintings, I came across that line in an early Dylan Thomas poem. And for me, it expressed concisely and quite beautifully the nature of the subjects that I was interested in. At the time, I was about to paint mummified rats, so it was singularly appropriate to those paintings, but also to what was to follow. In my work here at the house, I get to explore the farther regions of the Highwic experience, and it takes me to places not often seen by the visitor. The seldom used outbuildings, the groom's room, the stables, the loft, the tool sheds, and all around the grounds and the exterior of the house. And what strikes me is that while Highwic has provided a home and a sanctuary for generations of people over the years, it has also provided a home and a shelter for a vast array of animals, birds, insects and plants. And while the function of the house has changed for human beings, it still provides the same refuge for the animal world, and perhaps even more so now that it's a little green oasis in the middle of the city. Today the interior of the main house remains relatively static, but life around the house and in the outbuildings is in a state of constant change. This is in accordance with the seasons and the natural cycles, as it always has been, and everywhere you look something is happening. So I got interested not only in the dusty corners, but in the movements of Highwic's animal life. The rustle of a wing, the howling of a wild cat, the scratching of a rat's foot, the relentless scuttlings of insects, and the gentle weeping of a watering can over a flower bed. Working in the groom's room, I came across piles of discarded slate roof tiles, and picking them up and feeling their weight, and at the same time their fragility, brushing off the layers of dust and dirt and soot, I was amazed by their beautiful patina. The colours, the weathering, the textures, the lichen that was growing on some of them, and the damage. So these for me became the ideal surface on which to paint these images from around the house. I knew they were old and imagined some could have been on the house for over 100 years, but I had no idea of the extreme geological age of the material. We believe they came from the Penrhyn slate mine in Wales and arrived in New Zealand as ballast on sailing ships. But recent dating of microfossil remains in the Penrhyn slate indicates it emerged from the sea some 4 million years ago, give or take 1.5 million years. So working on material of that age and in fact just handling it is quite an awe-inspiring experience. And I like the contrast between this extreme age and the transience of the images that I'm painting, most of which, the bird's nests, paper wasp nests, are already decayed and vanished. But they will be reborn, maybe not in the same places or by the same animals, but those cycles of creation will remain. Fortunately or not, the rats are still hanging in there. Anyway, well, I've got a lot of people to thank for helping me to get to this stage. Cheryl, in particular, for letting me use the slate and her encouragement. Huge thanks to Phil Charlton for his work on the slates, and Steve Madison for the lighting, Steve Burgess for the graphics and photography, and of course Bruce Payne for his interest and the filming. And a lot of people helped get organised today: Rendell, Penny, Bet, Myungja, Inchung, Dennis and Heather. And thanks to all my colleagues at the Trust. Special mention to Blair, who provided the last little piece of the puzzle. It's nice to have another practical guy working around the house, Blair. Time and our conception of it is obviously a significant factor in these paintings, both in the material and the subject matter. So I'd like to read the last verse of a wonderful poem, Fern Hill, by Dylan Thomas, in which, as with so many of his poems, he rhapsodises about nature, his childhood on a farm, and the passage of time, and time never to be regained. Nothing I cared in the lamb-white days that time would take me up to the swallow-thronged loft by the shadow of my hand in the moon that is always rising, nor that riding to sleep I should hear him fly with the high fields and wake to the farm for ever fled from the childless land. Oh, as I was young and easy in the mercy of his means, time held me green and dying, though I sang in my chains like the sea. Right on. Thank you, people.
Steve Burgess, Chortara, you know who Steve is. Yeah, Steve's another one. You and Steve did a time together, didn't you? Yeah, we went to ATI together in the 70s.
Hey Kevin, how's it going, mate? Glad you could make it.
We sound like a third day.
3 nights, 2 nights, 3 days, cheap beers, get in before 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. Over the knee on maybe half in April. Oh yeah. A great big sword in their hand.
Breathe aside. Oh, it's a lovely dress.
Thank you. It has been worn a bit now. I think your event
Like all of my clothes.
Your event was first.
How they came.
Nero has seizures, yeah, that's
So
still alive.
still hanging in
Yeah, oh yeah, I think he's
See, Craig. Oh, shit. Thanks a lot for coming. Oh, well, that's just
I think it's going downhill. No, they were actually they were
Awesome, Craig. And we'll check out the time to go.
Well, yeah.
How long are you showing these things for?
It's on until at least the 4th of November.
All your stuff in here?
Yeah.
You're going to leave all those other oil paintings as well?
See you guys.
Yeah, darling. Good to see you.
Enjoyed the dancing on Friday night, of course. we had a party with our friends up in Thames this weekend, and our friend Brian from up.
We weren't sure where.
exciting. Well, on slate, isn't
Well, he wasn't there either.
Yeah.
That was your weekend.
These are some paintings I had in my other exhibition. I just brought them in to fill up some wall space. You're not meant to touch it.
I know, but I just hang on, this is real.
Thanks so much for coming.
Now, we're very excited.
I'm excited.
The 3 families are going there, so I've been left in charge of paying, so we're leaving now.
Yeah. It's on.
it? Is that
You know where to come and find
Yeah, I don't need money now.
You want a deposit?
No, it's okay. I might think about it. I might do a deal for cash.
Tomorrow, cash will be fine. Yeah, cash will be fine.
Because I reached
Yeah, well, she said, I reckon you get a commission. Yeah, she